Bienvenidos a otro episodio de EpicEarth, un podcast para personas curiosas sobre STEM y las experiencias asombrosas, peculiares y divertidos pasando ahorita. Hoy tenemos episodio número 7, el Corazón de Guatemala. Siéntate tranquilo y disfruta mientras emprendemos un viaje alrededor de este EpicEarth.
Welcome to another episode of EpicEarth. I'm Ashley Bosa, and with me today I have my podcast pals, Brian Rosenblatt.
Hey guys.
And Scott Gavain.
¿Qué tal?
And we have a very special guest with us today who is visiting us from Guatemala. It's someone that I work closely with in my own research, Armando Pineda.
Hola, soy Armando.
Hola, Armando. So Armando works a lot with us. He really is our go-to guy. He's the main man for our Guatemala projects. He basically has a background in first response and does a lot of search and rescue in Guatemala, but he has a lot of training in terms of hiking a lot of the volcanoes that we work around. He does a lot of other types of search and rescue or activities such as in caves, doing rescues in caves and searches in caves, but cave diving as well, just for fun. And he's going to tell us a lot about that. I'm not going to try to introduce everything that he does because he does so much and he's awesome. But he also works with a lot of institutions and we can ask him questions about that. So, Armando, do you want to just start by telling us a little bit about how you got into basically this field and what brought you into like this line of work, really?
I started 10 years ago working active volcanoes, and the first year I work only one time, 2 weeks maybe in the year, but each year change and different groups search me in Guatemala and they want work in different volcanoes in Guatemala, and the second year I have 2 different groups, and the next year I have 5 groups, and now I have a schedule very busy, but I have a lot of groups for different countries for work in Guatemala.
Excellent. That's amazing. And have you always been interested in working around volcanoes and doing this type of work, or you kind of just fell into it?
No, the principal reason when these groups, the first time they need help to work inside the volcano, not a guide, but this group, they know work many times in this volcano, and they have a big group but need help for in case they have accidents or anything. But the difference is in Guatemala I have 25 years climbing volcanoes, and Santiaguito, Fuego and Pacaya I visit many times. I have a lot of experience. I know where any place inside these volcanoes.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many active volcanoes does Guatemala have currently?
We have 6. Pacaya, Fuego, Santiaguito, Tecuangurro, Tacaná, Atitlan. But only we have equipment for monitoring in Pacaya, Fuego and Santiaguito. Tacaná is in the border with Mexico, and Guatemala not monitoring, but Mexico, yes. Mm-hmm. Mexico have a seismic stations for monitoring, and they send to data and share all with Guatemala.
Wow, okay, yeah, so only really 3 of the volcanoes are...
Yes.
And those are the most active volcanoes?
Yes.
Yeah. And how many volcanoes are there in total in Guatemala?
Maybe 400, but the principal only are 37 volcanoes.
37?
Yes.
What defines like a principal volcano? Like
the altitude?
Okay.
Yes.
And it's true that you've climbed you've climbed the 37 volcanoes.
Yes, in 1 year.
In 1 year. And some of them more than once. Obviously, the 3 active ones, but
Yes.
how many of them have you climbed more than once?
I have my file when I have my list for all volcanoes. Example, Pacaya, I don't remember now, but maybe 250 times Pacaya.
Oh my gosh.
And Acatenango 75 times. Santiaguito, I think 100 or more.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. And which one is your favorite?
Santiaguito volcano. It's my second home in the last 10 years.
Yeah. It's very beautiful. Now, Santiaguito is is it the actual volcano or is it one of the craters in the volcano?
I have 4 domes, and now only have the names is Caliente, Mitad, Monje and Brujo, and the active dome is Caliente.
Caliente.
Yeah.
It's a good name for an active dome.
Yes.
Do you ever get tired climbing these volcanoes? Do you ever tire out?
Yeah. And the Santiaguito is a special, but you need experience. It's not easy volcano.
It is unstable.
Yes. Yeah.
Like all volcanoes, but
Yes.
that one's particularly hard to hike back into. Is that
Yes,
right?
but in this volcano, you need start to climbing Santa Maria volcano, stop in 3,000 meters, and you need start down to 2,000 meters. And in this point, you can see Santiago volcano.
Wow. Yeah. But can you camp up there? Can you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you can look down at these eruptions.
Yep. Yeah. I have a special site camp in Santiago volcano. The name is VIP camp. In this point, I have one seismic station and infrasound station. I can stay for days. It's safe, but the distance to the Caliente is in line 2 kilometers.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I have protection for the other domes in case we have big eruptions.
And so that one's a little bit harder to access, but people still go back there. Is that right?
Yes, this volcano have 5 years with restriction. The people can't climbing, but the different little groups tried search the form to climbing the volcano. Maybe start in the midnight. The police visit different points, but never found the person. The reason is they use midnight to start to climbing, and the normal time is to climbing this volcano. The people start maybe 6 a.m. and visit the sit camp 6 p.m. maybe 12 hours walk. But now with this restriction, they don't sleep in the volcano. They only start in the morning, walk all day, visit the summit, and back in the same day.
How long does that take normally? Would you say, not your pace, not like Jeff Johnson's pace, but for someone who's maybe never been in that terrain, how long would you say it would take?
The normal groups for climbing this volcano start in the base 6 a.m. and they arrive to the sit camp 6 p.m. and they sleep in this point. Next day they need to start 4 a.m. and work for 2 or 3 hours to climbing Mitad. Mitad now is not the point more high in Santiaguito, now it's Caliente. But the people climbing Mitad, but they can see Caliente in the front. And take picture and need back maybe 1 hour to the camp, and they need start to walk and take all day to back to the city.
Gotcha.
Yes. In my case, is for work. I start maybe 4 a.m., 5 a.m. I visit my VIP camp, maybe around 7 a.m. I work for 1 hour and take my breakfast, rest, and start to back to the city. And I am in the car maybe 3 p.m.
Wow.
Yeah, you're a beast.
It's for work. I prefer, depends, but many times I like sleeping in Santiaguito Volcano. It's a special place, but in this case depends what I need working in the volcano. In case it's only collect data, don't need sleep, but always I take time to sleep in the volcano.
Love it.
You
Yeah.
have to.
How many volcanoes have you slept on then in Guatemala? All of them?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he's got you beat, Brian.
Yeah.
Brian.
I also like to sleep on volcanoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes to take naps on volcanoes.
Yeah.
You've got to teach him your ways, Armando.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. And so, how many stations do you have set up at Santiaguito that you
In
monitor?
Santiaguito, I have 3 in real time and 3 offline.
Okay.
I have 4 seismic stations and 2 infrasound stations.
Okay.
Yeah. All seismometer is online.
They're
Yeah.
telemetered back to
Yes.
Insavume or
Yes, we share all data with Insibume, and we install all equipment are from University of Liverpool and Karlsruhe from Germany. And when we install all these stations, we connect to the server in Insibume, and they have all the data.
Can you tell us more about Insiume?
Insibume is a government institution in Guatemala. They have the principal work in Guatemala. They monitoring volcanoes, weather, all referent to hazards. Yes.
they have like hydrology, meteorology.
It's the equivalent of USGS
Yeah.
to America.
Yes.
Cool.
Insibume is Instituto Nacional de Vulcanología, Sismología, Meteorología e Hidrología.
Yeah, and how many people from? Do you work directly with people from Insavume?
No.
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 Okay.
Only we share the data,
Okay.
but I don't work with any institution in Guatemala.
You just do your thing.
Yes, it's different.
Yeah. Yeah. But you do work with a lot of institutions outside of Guatemala.
Yes.
Including, you just mentioned you work from people from University of Liverpool. You work from institutes in Germany. You obviously work with BSU, Michigan Tech.
Yeah.
Are there other like government agencies that you help out, or are they mainly like academic institutions?
Many times is academic institutions. Only one time is a specific project with National Geographic. We work 1 month in Santiaguito Volcano, and we have different interviews with persons. It's different work, and in this case, we work with photogrammetry, and we in the end, this project, National Geographic, share a gallery picture for this work.
Nice.
And this presentation are a gift from Guatemala, and now Guatemala have this presentation, and they move in different places.
Cool.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Do you also work with like the tourism board in Guatemala as well? Do you do any like informational promos for them, or like do you make videos for them to educate visitors to these volcanoes? Obviously, they're very hazardous, right? So at Santiaguito, it's erupting, it's throwing out bombs. Armando, by the way, gave a fantastic lecture to Boise State just a few days ago, and he was explaining how at Santiaguito you get these 2 2-meter size diameter bomb.
1.2 meters.
Yeah,
Yes.
and get shot up and they just bury into the ground, and they're massive. And these are a large hazard, obviously, besides just the ash and the pyroclastic flows that come down. But
Yes, in Santiaguito we found fresh bombs, maybe 8 kilometers to Caliente, maybe 10 centimeters, and the big bomb, the 1.2 meters, is 2 kilometers to the vent.
oh my gosh, yeah, yeah. So these things are flying up to, as far as we know, at least 8 kilometers away, and that's a large distance from a volcano for something to be flying at you. So
Yeah, that's farther than your campsite,
Yeah,
so you could get hit there potentially.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
do you find that the people who visit these volcanoes, who climb them, who walk back into them, are they usually trained to do that, or are they like more like, we always hear stories about Everest now where people are like, basically you could pay someone to walk you up to the top, but
In Guatemala we have a prize when you climb in the 37 volcanoes. You have a, I don't know, plaqueta,
Cool.
plaqueta, reconocimiento.
Oh, a plaque.
Yeah.
Oh.
When you finish climbing the 37 volcanoes, you have a premio Quetzal. And
Cool.
Santiaguito is in this list. And all people want this prize.
yeah.
And now Santiaguito is not in the list, but the people, they want Santiaguito. And a lot person climbing Santiaguito and they have experience in climbing other volcanoes,
Yeah.
but when finish Santiaguito, many persons say, okay, this is my last time, I don't climb more. But they finish very tired. But the people only climbing, but never see the risk in this volcano. They only want the selfie and no more.
Yeah.
But never see the hazard. In my case, when I work inside the volcano, I have a WhatsApp group, and I say, okay, I work inside the volcano for 4 days. In this volcano, I don't have cell phone signal. Only I have specific points to signal, and in case the Santiaguito have more activity, they send a message, and I search these points. I take time to search, and the VIP camp, I have telemetry. I can connect my computer. I have an office in this point.
In your tent.
Yes, in my tent. Yes. In this case, I can see in real time all the station in my cell phone with internet, and I monitoring always. In case have a little change in Guatemala, send message, and I take my computer. I see this in case is big activity or no. But this is the difference. I can monitoring. In case is more height, stop, back. But the people don't have access.
Yeah.
Are they, do they normally go with tour guides, or are they normally on their own? Are these like private individuals just hiking back in there?
Are private groups.
Yeah.
Yes. But with this restriction, all formal groups in Guatemala, they know this restriction and they respect this.
That's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the other groups is only maybe one friend say, okay, this weekend the plan is Santiaguito. But and now they know, they call to Santiaguito Volcán Prohibido. Don't mention Santiaguito, and many times post in Facebook or any post and say we climbing el Volcán Prohibido, but many people don't know this is Santiaguito. Or other time they post one picture in other volcano.
Oh.
Yes,
Yes.
But they're actually climbing
Yes.
Santiaguito.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah, that is sneaky. But because Santiaguito is a little bit harder to access, are there other volcanoes such as Fuego or Pacaya which you get a lot more people climbing?
Yeah, Pacaya is a national park. It's a very tourist place, and only need walk 4 kilometers. Easy walk. Is many people. This volcano when have active lava flows in one weekend, maybe climbing 2,000, 3,000 persons
Wow,
in
yeah.
one weekend.
Yeah, unfortunately, when we were down there, Scott was with us. Pacaya had been basically effusively erupting with these large lava flows, and literally the day before we went out to Pacaya, the lava flows stopped.
Yes.
But fortunate for us, because of that, we were able to park higher up and only walk. We didn't even walk a kilometer, I bet, from
Less.
Yeah, and there was literally not that many people there. Maybe 100 throughout the entire time we were there. I don't even think there was that
Yeah.
many, but it was great because there weren't any people, but there was also no lava flows, so it was kind of a bummer. But we did get to roast marshmallows on the hot rocks, so.
Yeah.
So you monitor stations, but this kind of brought me another sort of topic I want to talk with you about is that you don't only monitor stations, but you also have things like FLIR cameras, which are, can you explain a little bit about what the FLIR camera does?
Yes, in this case, 3 years ago, we started to work with FLIR cameras in Santiaguito volcano. But we have a little problem. We have one lightning and burn this camera. And the cost this camera is $6,000.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yes, and now I need sent to Karlsruhe in Germany, but they want try to repair, to fix, and in case it's not possible, the plan is install a new camera. And in my case, I have my professional FLIR camera, and when I work in any volcano, I take time to install tripod, FLIR camera, and work for download data. And when finished, I have a time lapse for 1-2 hours to the active activity.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You just pointed up at the summit. And for something like Fuego or Santiaguito, which is erupting quite regularly, it's
Yeah.
cool to see the different aspects of that. Can you discuss a little bit about what exactly the FLIR camera is monitoring? It's infrared, right? And it monitors thermal heat exchanges in the volcano?
Yes. This is the principal reason. When we install the camera in Santiaguito, is 6 kilometers to Caliente. But the reason the expensive camera is they want take details for the activity, and this camera take picture each 1 minute always.
Yeah.
And we have, in case we have more activity, we take the time. We work with with one time lapse and try to search in what direction, temperature, or yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool that you have that resource for you, because, yeah, that equipment is not cheap, for sure. And then the other thing that you do is you actually fly drones, which is really cool. You've saved our butts a lot of times with your
Yes.
skills. So,
Yeah.
can you explain a little bit about that? Like, what exactly do you do with the drones? And
Now I use the Mavic Air 2. And in the last season, winter season in Fuego, I have my flight plans for the Barranca Las Lajas, and now I think I have 5 different dates in flights to compare the what change have these barrancas for rainy season.
Yeah, it's gonna be some interesting data for sure. It's gonna it seems like these drainages are changing very drastically, even within a month. I think we were having a conversation and you were saying, I mean these mud flows, these lahars that come down these drainages are basically what we're monitoring, and we're in Las Lajas drainage, and Armando has been a fantastic contributor to our drone data from that drainage. But I think last time when you went to go collect all of our sensors, you were saying how the drainage had even incised 3 meters more in some places.
Yes, when I need collect the last camera, I need down inside the Barranca Las Lajas. This barranca change all time. In case I have rain today, tomorrow is different, and I have rain next day is totally different. And in this case, I start to down the inside the barranca, and inside I found different place, maybe 4 or 5 meters more deep compared 1 month of before.
1 month,
yes.
And a
yes.
4 to 5 meter
yes.
incision.
Yes.
That's crazy. That's how erosive these things are. And so the drone data will specifically be really helpful in that, because we do something called structure from motion, which basically we can create digital elevation models from these photos that we take with the drone, and that can give us differences in deposition and also erosion in these drainages. That's something principally that our master student Jerry Mock is working on. Hopefully we'll get Jerry on this podcast soon, but Armando's been such a huge contributor to that data set, and we're so grateful for that work. Speaking of lahars, have you ever had to rescue anybody from a drainage, or has there ever been anything related to lahars specifically that you've ever done any rescue work with?
No, in my case, no. My rescue team many times, but in my case, in volcanoes, we have 3 years ago big eruptions, June 3, 2018, and with my rescue team we worked for 10 days in this area, and June is a winter season in Guatemala, and we start to the work in rescue maybe 5-6 a.m. and we need to stop 12, but maybe 12 or 1 p.m. start the rain, and it's not possible, but it's not safe for the rescue teams, and we need finish and start the next day. And in this case, we work a long time, but specific for in this area. Not necessary. We help to persons to, in case have problems with lahars, but in the other side, the volcano, the problem is the people. We have a lot people. We have a lot little towns around the volcano, and they need cross different barrancas to back to the home. In winter season, they finish maybe work 6 p.m., 7 p.m., and they need back to home. The rain starts 3 p.m., and when they try to cross the barranca, it's not possible. And many times, the people need back to home, and they try to cross the barranca. In this time is when we have a lot of accidents. Many people tried with car or motorcycle or walk. Yeah.
Is there a bridge?
It's not bridge.
No bridge.
This is the problem.
Yeah.
This little town don't have help for government. The best solution is big bridge.
Yeah.
But they don't have. They need cross only the barranca.
Would the bridge even last if they did put one up?
Yes. In the big eruption, exists. We had a. It's not big bridge, but this big eruption take one channel and stopped in this bridge, and the bridge collapsed. Yes.
But they rebuilt the bridge, is that
Yes.
right?
Now is more big.
Reinforced, basically.
Yes. Yeah. I hope.
You
Yeah.
learn, right? I mean, sometimes our infrastructure advances because of, sadly, these things that happen. But speaking of that eruption, so we talk about people struggling to get across these barrancas sometimes when these mud flows are coming down, but that was a really also important eruption. This is an eruption that happened at Fuego, by the way, and Fuego has these big eruptions from time to time, and there's been quite a few over the last century or so which have occurred, but this one in particular had this pyroclastic flow which flowed out much further than most of the PDCs that come down Fuego. Is that correct? I think it went out to 12 kilometers. Is that? Which is worrisome because then it diluted and it overbanked and basically buried this village that was around that bridge, actually, that was taken out. And you did a lot of rescue work in that area, which you were just speaking about. And how are the working conditions? You said that you had to sort of start early and get out early because of the rains that would then start, and that's never a good thing because then you have all these lahars coming down. But was it hot material? Was it?
Yes, the problem is when we have this big eruption in San Miguel Los Lotes, we have maybe in this little town we had 100, 150 house maybe, and with this pyroclastic flow we have all cover and disappear this town. We work in the roof to the second floor, and you don't see more. It's all flat, all is covered. And in this case, we entrance in the roof, and always in my case, I take the temperature to entrance, and when I touch the ground, it's maybe 75 centigrade Celsius. But when I use my shovel to try to search something, is maybe 125. Yeah, it's too hot.
Yeah.
Yes, we need work only for 10 minutes inside, and we need take a little rest and entrance other group. We have in this case, in Guatemala exist different rescue teams, different institutions, and each institution have one specific place to work. And in case my group, we have one line, and we work, and only entrance 2 person, and the other part team, they wait 10 minutes, switch. Yes, it's for safety.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is like some of the limitations that you have as a rescue team in terms of, basically getting the most potential out of your workday, because you are limited by the material, basically, and the working conditions. Are there conditions, like other sort of rescue conditions, maybe not with Volcanoes specifically, but in any of the work that you do that you also have a lot of limitations for?
I don't think so. In case the more work in case we need is in rainy season when the people have 2 days lost in volcanoes or mountains. But rainy season we have a lot rain in Guatemala.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not cold, but always
Just
wet.
so it's
Yes.
raining.
Yes.
Does this basically limit, because at Fuego, it's part of the Acatenango Massif, is that right? And so Acatenango is, it's not active anymore. It
have
is,
little fumaroles.
little fumaroles,
yes.
yeah. But it basically rests just north of Fuego, and you can climb Acatenango, you can camp at the top of Acatenango and
Yes.
look out at Fuego as it's erupting. But people get caught up on Acatenango. They get trapped up there.
Yes, all groups tried climbing Acatenango, and Acatenango have a specific place, The name is Terrazas. It's 2 kilometers inland to Fuego. And this campsite, you can see in the night all activity, explosions, but you need only 2 hours to down between Acatenango and Fuego and start to climbing Fuego, and you can visit. The name is Meseta. Is the first part in Fuego, but it's 1 kilometer to the bend, and the people take time to climb in this part, but they want the selfie with in the background one big explosions. But this place is not safe.
Right.
I work in this place. We install infrasound stations. I know the risk, but when I need a work, only work with other person, no more. And one person, they need see the activity, and the other person working in the station, and finish, and we out. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to me that a lot of people could get a good life lesson about volcanoes from you and your crew on what is maybe appropriate and what isn't appropriate when you're around volcanoes. I mean, they're so unpredictable, and we don't know what they're doing most of the time. We can sort of have a vague idea of what they're doing with our monitoring sources, but it's hard to say. You don't right? Fuego maybe erupts every 15 to 20 minutes, but sometimes it erupts at 10 minutes, sometimes it erupts at 30 minutes. We don't know.
Yeah.
So, so I think that the work that you do is so fantastic, and I think that you have so much information just having grown up around these volcanoes and lived around them to offer to the world and to offer to people who want to take those selfies and just climb these mountains. But I think what the knowledge in your head that you hold is so valuable. Even to us as volcanologists, right? We study these things, but Armando truly is the person that when we're down in Guatemala, he's keeping us safe and aware, and he knows the ins and outs of these volcanoes like the back of his hand. So he's our go-to guy for sure. Okay, we talked a lot about the work that you do, which in some ways can be a little not as uplifting because I'm sure you've dealt with some very traumatic situations. So I really want to switch the conversation and ask you, what is the most fun thing that you do? What's the most fun thing about the work that you do? Or what's the most rewarding, I guess?
I don't know. In case I have a lot of activities, I love all activities. But all activities in outdoors, I prefer always. I work in office, but the people don't believe I work 10 years ago in one office. Really, I work for 10 days or more in office. But I think 11 years ago, I have one project in Guatemala. My project is climbing the point more height in America. It's Aconcagua, Argentina. And I training for 6 months. I sell my car. I buy my flight ticket, but I don't have permission in my work. One detail. And when I have meeting with my boss, I say, okay, I have permission to. I work in this project, and this is the point more height in America. I training for months. I need a permission. And how many times you need? 2 months. They say, no. Okay, this is my letter, and don't go more. Yes. Yes, when back to Argentina, I don't have work, I don't have money, I don't have car, but I have the satisfaction for in my person, but climbing the point more height in Argentina.
How long ago was that?
This expedition is 20 days, and we take maybe 12 days up and 2 days down. Yes. the point is 6,962 meters.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Did you have to bring any oxygen up there? Or
No.
it was fine.
It's
That's
Armando.
Yeah.
I climbing to Argentina, 6,962, and Ecuador, Chimborazo, is the point more height, is 6,310 meters. And never have problems.
Is that prominence from the base to the top, or is that total elevation?
Total elevation, yes. Yeah.
Wow. That's super cool. So it sounds like you just are training on all sorts of mountains all over the world.
We need to get Armando to space. I think that's the next to
yeah.
the moon or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah.
Olympus Mons is your next
Yeah.
mountain to climb. We're just going to send you to Mars. That's so awesome, Armando. And honestly, you're such an inspiration. Somebody I like aspire, I just want to be like all the time. I want to be like, I want to climb like Armando climbs, because you've seen it all, you've done it all. It's awesome.
Yeah, I want to see the view from 23,000 feet. That's inspiring.
Yeah. Speaking of which, are there other countries that you've climbed really high mountains in, or volcanoes in?
Ecuador, I visit 3 times, and each time I stay in Ecuador 1 month. I have time to climb a lot. And Ecuador 3 times, Argentina 1 time, Chile 2 times, Italy 1 time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you climb Etna in Italy?
We tried,
Yeah.
but the weather, I tried 3 times,
Wow.
but the weather is not possible. I say, why?
Yeah.
Okay, I need back.
Yeah.
Have you climbed any of the volcanoes in the U.S.?
Only visit Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't
We've
count.
got to get you out to do the Cascade ones. We're gonna tell Jeff.
Me too.
He's
Yeah.
gonna, I know. He's gonna get you permitted. You're gonna go climb all of them in a year.
Yes. Yeah.
Now in like a day. Like,
Probably. I know. This is really great, Armando. I really appreciate all the work that you do for us. You're a fantastic person, and honestly, I say this all the time, and everyone that works with Armando will say this, our work would not be possible without his help and his expertise. And so you are very much appreciated.
It's a pleasure.
I guess we're going to end it there, but Armando, we thank you for coming on and doing this interview with us. Honestly, I can't say enough good things about Armando, but if anyone from BSU or from any other institution has any questions and they want to get in contact with Armando, he's just the coolest person, and has so much knowledge in his head, so please reach out to us if that's something that you're interested in. So thank you, Armando.
No,
Do you
thank
want to make any shout outs to anyone before we end?
I don't know. You depends. No. I
Let
think it's
me
fine.
Like,
ask
hi,
you
Mom.
1 or maybe 2 final questions.
Oh, Scott's got
Sure.
Super serious questions.
Okay.
You might have already said this, but what is your favorite volcano on Earth?
That's a good, we have to narrow it
Yeah,
down.
I mean, there's other volcanoes.
Right.
Yes, I need to visit more volcanoes.
Okay.
But in this moment, Santiaguito. In this moment. But
Because Santiaguito, it breathes, doesn't it?
yes, but I need visit another. But I need see more volcanoes. Exist
Yes.
1,000 volcanoes.
Yes.
I think I can change.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then my other question is, if you could go and spend some time on another planet, or maybe like a moon of a planet, where would you go?
Good question.
Yeah.
Yes. Moon, I think no. No, I think another planet.
Favorito.
Yes, yes. More. I need more distance.
Just give him some space.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't blame you. You deal with a lot of people, so wanting
Yeah,
to
but
go
all
as
people
far as...
say, I want to visit the moon. Oh. I am different.
That's for sure.
But in an awesome way.
Yeah.
Yes, I prefer visit many places. I like the people. I love the people, but I prefer visit a place without people.
Yeah.
Yes. This is the reason I practice caving in Guatemala. But the caving in Guatemala is the people don't know exists this. It's a sport, but it's science. In my case, I take both. And this is a specific reason, but when I visit 4 caves, and I am the first person entrance in these caves.
Wow.
The access is very difficult. You need ropes, gear, specific gear, and I have all in the entrance my room. I have all my gear in case I have. I need visit volcanoes, caves. Depends. Only I take my gear and I go. But this is the specific reason I visit the caves. But it's a little group and one space where the people never visit. Yes.
Wow. You're like an explorer. You're like a pioneer in like just exploring all these new areas. That's super cool.
Yes, in Guatemala, I have Guatemala with Belize. We have a long cave. It's 75 kilometers.
Wow.
My first time, only walk maybe 6 kilometers in 48 hours. I sleep 2 times.
You slept in the cave.
Yes, it's a nice place to sleep.
That sounds... I don't know if I would like that, but I'll have to
It's
try
a
it someday.
quiet site too.
I bet, yeah.
Yes.
No traffic noise.
Yes, but in the first time we have one earthquake in Belize,
Oh, wonderful.
and this cave is a big tunnel, and I can feel the sound in this tunnel.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Did it scare you?
No.
No. Oh, well, I know. I shouldn't even. That's like a rhetoric question. Of course, it didn't scare Armando. But there was no worry about like parts of the cave collapsing or anything.
Yes. Yes.
What type of caves are they? Are they limestone or are they something different?
We have is karstico.
Castica?
Karstico.
Is it?
I think that is limestone.
Is it limestone?
Yes, we have a lot caves in karstic.
Oh yeah, like
Yes.
like karst caves. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it is like limestone,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
I have we work with my caving group. I have we work with other countries, and in all Central America, we have a specific software. For this software, have the inventory for the caves. In case I want visit Costa Rica, example, I take this software. I say okay, and in this software is a technical specifications for caving. It's not public. In this case, when I visit a new cave, I need upgrade, and for the other countries, they can see this information.
Awesome. That's a great resource.
Yeah.
I think we could sit here and literally talk to Armando all day long. So, but again, Armando, thank you so much for coming on. You are such a pleasure to talk to, and
Gracias a ustedes.
thank you so much, Armando.
Well, that was an epic conversation.
We'd like to thank all of our listeners.
Tune in next time for another Epic Earth podcast.
Check. I'm Brian.
Check. I'm Brian.
Check. I'm Brian.
Check, Armando.